Hey everyone, welcome to Simple Time Recipes. Today I'm going to show you an easy to make steak fajita recipe. Let's get started. The ingredients I'll be using today are serrano, red and yellow pepper, onion, about a pound of skirt steak. We'll also be using rice, olive oil, lime juice, garlic, which I forget to use later in the video, cayenne pepper or paprika for less spice, cumin, salt, and pepper. So to begin, I'm going to measure about 2 cups of long grain Hispanic rice for my pressure cooker. If you don't have a pressure cooker, stovetop is just as effective, but you may need more time depending on the rice you have. I like to add a little bit of olive oil, as I'll show you here, to keep the rice from sticking too much to the sides of the cooker. Alternatively, you could wash your rice, but the brand that I'm using does not recommend this for it to retain its vitamins and specific flavor. Just take your hands and rub it along the bottom about an inch off the sides. Make sure just to add enough to coat the pressure cooker. You don't want to see any pooling when you angle it. So go ahead and grab your rice, add it in, and you're going to want to do about equal parts water, so that'd be about 2 cups in my case. You can do more or less depending on the firmness that you want for your rice. I'm going to do a little less because I like my rice to be a bit dry so it can soak up the juices of the steak and veggies later. My pressure cooker has a specific setting for rice, so for those of you who don't, it would be low pressure for about 12 minutes. Now I'm going to go ahead and slice the skirt steak into 3 equal parts, make it a little easier to divvy it up into the pan. Unfortunately, my pan will be a little bit too small to fit all 3 pieces, but I can at least do 2. So now I'm going to go ahead and start seasoning the steak. We're just going to do a simple mixture of salt and pepper. So I'm going to be using the pink salt and a ground black pepper for this recipe. Just give it a nice good coat across. Don't have to do both sides. Both sides can lead to the meat being a little too salty or too peppery. Once done, one side will do just fine, and make sure to pat those seasonings in nicely. Let's go ahead and give our pan a nice glug of olive oil. Turn it up to medium high heat. And you just want to get the oil nice and hot. I like to just swirl the pan around. If the oil is kind of slipping around real quick, usually done. You can wait for it to smoke, or you can do the water test as well. So let's go ahead and get those steaks in the pan. Now for these guys, since they're so thin, 3 minutes will do per side. You want to see that nice golden brown crust forming on either side. You'll notice here that the steak will kind of stick to the bottom of the pan when it's not fully done. As you'll notice after the 3 minutes, you should be able to get a spatula under there real nice and be able to flip it over. So let's go ahead and get started with those veggies here. We're going to go ahead and take the serrano and just slice into about 1/2 inch pieces. We're going to go ahead and get started with the red and yellow pepper. With these guys, we're going to start at the top of the pepper, slicing down, going along the curve of the pepper to cut out a bit of that white membrane that you'll see on each slice. Be careful when doing this because sometimes the core of the pepper will not be connected to the bottom, so you won't really have much of a base to work with, and you'll notice the pepper want to kind of slide and give as you cut. So just be wary of that. Don't want to see anyone get hurt. Just remember when cutting or slicing anything in the kitchen to just take your time. It's not about speed. No one wants to lose a finger, no one wants to get hurt, so just cut it at your own pace. For this, we're just going to cut the pepper into nice thin slices for the mix. All right, with the first 3 minutes up, let's go ahead and flip these guys over. And as you'll see, got that nice golden brown crust. Spatula just kind of slid under there and was easy to flip over. We're just gonna give it another 3 minutes on this side then. So for my onion, an interesting way I like to go about it is I cut each end until it's about clean off. Then I take my knife and drive it in, just getting through that first layer. This will allow you to peel back that first layer pretty easy, not leaving too much of the onion skin to flake off and get all over the cutting board. Then we're going to go ahead and cut the onion lengthwise, and then cut it into nice fine strips, just like the peppers. With the steaks now done, we're going to go ahead and take them off the pan. We're going to put them aside for about 10 minutes to rest. Go ahead and throw the veggies in that same pan, adding a little bit more olive oil to keep the pan slick. To season the veggies, we're going to start with some salt and pepper. I like to run the bottom of the salt over the pepper in like a circular fashion to get the pepper out a little faster so you're not sitting there shaking it the whole time. Next is the cumin and the cayenne or paprika if you need less spice in the dish, and we'll add a little bit of lemon juice as well. Start with a little seasoning of each and add more as you go along. A little goes a long way, and it's better to under-season than over-season. So you're going to want to cook the veggies through for about 10 minutes, conveniently around the same time the steak will take to rest. Sound off with the pressure cooker. We're going to go ahead and check our rice, and it looks great. I'm going to go ahead and run a fork through the rice and give it a little taste test. Again, mine's going to be a bit more firm. I like mine to absorb the juice from the steak and veggies. So as the veggies are coming to a close, you can go ahead and check the doneness by running your spatulas through them to check the firmness, or you can go ahead and give it a good old-fashioned taste test. These guys are about done, so I'm going to go ahead and kill the heat and plate them up. For slicing your steak, you're going to want to slice against the grain. Now those are the prominent lines that you'll find in the beef here. And then I'm going to slice mine into simple strips. All right, let's plate it up. We're going to go ahead and give this a good old mound of rice, then followed by some steak, and we're going to top it with veggies. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a little taste test here, and it tastes great. Additionally, you can add sour cream, avocado, put it on a tortilla, whatever you want to make this dish your own. And this dish comes at a fair price. The steak itself is only about $8 for the pound. The veggies, you might be looking at about close to $3, and the rice, another few bucks for a bag. Well, that's all I got for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this dish. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more. And I hope videos like these inspire more people to try and get creative while cooking. With that being said, we're going to figure out what we're going to do with this leftover rice. Until then, stay strong and cook on.